Hi guys, Barbara here from BarbaraMakesCrafts.com. Welcome to my channel. Well, I want to show you how to make this awesome retro t-shirt. But first, I want to address the elephant in the room. So, in the video, you may notice that my hair is longer and put up and all that good stuff. But the reality of doing these videos is if I have to wait for cooling or anything like that, it might be the next day before I get to it. And so I went to get my hair cut, and I always want something different. And this time, my hairdresser was ready for me with something really different, and I love it. She did this cute little cut that I couldn't make it do right today, but I'll get it going on. Now on to the t-shirt. The retro look is really in these days and is really selling on Etsy. So I decided that I wanted to show you how to make a t-shirt with a retro saying and design. We'll walk through this project together, and you'll be making this fun design or any fun design in no time at all. So let's get started. All right, so here we have started a blank canvas in Design Space, and the first thing that I want to do is add our text. So when I hit that text button, this second row came up, and this is where we can choose a font. So I'm going to go and just do this drop down menu and go to System Fonts, because the font that I want is loaded on my computer, and I'm going to use this awesome. And the first word is going to be totally, and let me move that out of the way, and then the next one will be tubular. Now, I want to give a disclaimer here. I searched this word or this phrase for the purpose of this video. I did research the trademark, the TE, it's test, TESS, where you can just go in and see if what you want to use is trademarked. And totally tubular is not trademarked, so I am free to use it. Now, I want to line this up, and I don't, is it going to let me? Yeah. I want to line these up and center them horizontally. Okay. So now what I want to do is group these together like so. Go over here and just click on group. And I want to make this color kind of a chalky blue. All right, so now I want to start an offset. Now, by default, the offset is coming in at 1/4 of an inch, but we don't want it that big. We want it at 0.02, and even that might be too big. Let me see. Nope, not big enough, actually. So let's do 0.03. All right. I'm going to go to 0.05. Okay, yeah, that looks better. I'm going to take this down, and you can see your offset, and I want to make this one kind of a chalky, pink, okay? And then put the original back on top of it, and then something's not right, so let me pull this down, see if I can pull this down. And let me just delete that. Okay. I'll put this back on top of it so that you can kind of see that offset. Okay. I recolored the smallest one, so I'm going to delete that and start all over. So now we know that we want the offset to be 0.05, and it is still loaded in there. So I'm going to hit is apply. And now I'm going to bring this down and go through the steps of making it pink. Okay. And then we'll add this back on top. And I want to ungroup and then select all and group. This is going to help tremendously. Okay, so I want to do offset again. Let me just make sure everything is selected and offset by 0.05. And again, this just goes on and on. I think I'm going to make this one, maybe this chalky colored yellow here, I think looks good. And can you see how the offset is building on each other? That is by design. I think that I'm combining a 70s term with a 60s design, but I kind of like the look. So, all right. So now everything is grouped. And we want to do maybe let's do about 2 more offsets and pull this down. I think there was kind of a chalky looking lavender. Okay. All right. And then once again, ungroup, select all and group. Okay. One last offset. And I'm undecided whether I want to leave that black or color it. I think, though, that I'm just going to go ahead and add one more color that is kind of a, kind of a violet looking. Okay. Now grouping these, I am grouping these together, but that's not going to do anything for the cut. All it did was help us keep things in place while we were adding more offsets. So what I need to do now is I need to flatten them so that it becomes all one layer and all one print then cut design. So just go in here and hit flatten. And you can see over here in the layers panel, it turned it into a print then cut image. So that is perfect. That is what we want. So I measured my shirt to be, the print area is about 9 inches. Well, so I measured the area of the shirt that could be printed in to be 9 by 7. So I'm just going to choose a square here and go up here and unlock so I can size them separately. And then do 9 and 7. And there we go. And under operation, we just want to click on this drop down menu and make it a guide. So I want to move the guide here. Now keep in mind that the Cricut is only going to cut 6.75 inches by 9.25 inches. I don't think we need the design to be quite that big, but let's kind of see what we can do. Well, let me just bring this over here so we can actually see it. And then bring that there. And, okay, so that is 7.1 inches by 4.8 inches, basically. And I think that that will work well on our shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and make it. But before I do, I just want to tell you that the word tubular comes from it's a surfer term for those big waves that make that tube that they love to surf in. That looks so cool. And if you've ever been to Hawaii, of course they have them other places, but if you've ever been to the north side of Hawaii where the waves get really, really big and you've seen this, they are just so cool. Now, I wouldn't want to see one coming at me in a hurricane situation, but anyway, they do look pretty cool. So first thing I want to do is I want to save it. And I'm going to save it as totally tubular. And if you are an Access member, Cricut Access member, they let you save things to collections, which is kind of like folders on your computer. It helps keep things kind of organized. I'm going to save this one to, I can save it to t-shirts, and I can save it to sublimation. I could save it to several. Stickers would work, tiles, any of this would work, but I'm just going to save it to those two. Hit save, and now we're going to hit make it, and you can see that it's going to cut this mark here. This box around that's closest to the words shows you how it's going to cut. In other words, if it was cutting totally separate from tubular, then there would be a box around one of those words showing you that they're going to cut separately. But this one looks like, this by design, this one is going to cut the words together, which is what we wanted. And anytime you're working with infusible ink, sublimation, heat transfer vinyl, you want to make sure that mirror is turned on. Okay, so let's go down here and hit continue. And we want to send this to the printer. And it's the ET 2760. I said I thought it was 2750, but it's 2760. And we're going to leave the bleed on, and we're going to print. Okay, so I've got this off the printer, and now the Cricut wants us to choose our material, and I am going to choose infusible ink transfer sheet because Cricut doesn't have a setting for like sublimation paper. And it's telling me that to make sure the mirror's turned on and that the material is inked side up. So we've done that. So I'm going to add more pressure. And I forgot to mention that I'm using my maker today. All right, guys, so today for this project, you'll need a t-shirt. I'm using Cricut's t-shirt, which is 95% polyester and 5% rayon. It needs to be at least 50% polyester. The higher the polyester content, the better, the more vibrant your colors will look, things like that. You're going to need butcher paper, about 5 layers of butcher paper, and the layers probably need to be, well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it and then fold it in half, cut it again and fold it in half. So a sheet about like that, plus a sheet for the top over your design, between your design and the heat press. You will need some heat resistant tape. Cute little tape dispenser optional, but heat resistant tape is not. You use Scotch tape, painter's tape, duct tape, any other kind of tape to tape it down, it will melt and you will have ruined your heat press. So make sure you're using heat resistant tape. You'll need a tape measure just to measure off your design area of your shirt. You're going to need a lint roller to roll all the dirt and, well, I won't say dirt, but debris off of your shirt, lint and whatever. And in my case, I have dogs that shed all year long. You're going to need a heating press, heating pad. I got this one from 143vinyl.com. Cricut also makes one, and I'm sure there are other brands out there too that I'm not aware of. But if you don't have one and you don't want to go buy one, you can just fold up a towel and use that, and it'll work just as well. You will need a standard grit mat. You'll need some kind of scraping tool. This is called a spatula, I think, on 143vinyl.com. It's like $2. You're gonna need a Cricut machine or any machine that works with SVG files. I'm gonna be using my maker today, but this project will work on any of the Explorer or Maker series machines. You'll need a heat press. I'm using the Easy Press 2 from Cricut. If you have another heat press, or if you have like a clamshell press, something like that, Just as long as it gets to 400 degrees, you can use it. And you will need a dedicated sublimation printer. And by dedicated, I mean that you can only run sublimation ink through it and not try to switch back and forth. I'm going to be using the EcoTank 2760. I think that one's discontinued, but I'll be linking to everything in the description box. And I will link to the comparable printer that they're selling now. But you want a machine that preferably has never run any regular ink through it and has only had sublimation ink, and it can't use the cartridges. It needs to use the bottles of ink that you kind of squeeze in there. That's why the EcoTank is so good for it, and it's more affordable than like the Sawgrass or whatever. So, all right, I think that's all we need. So, okay. So now what I'm going to do is just get this ready on the mat. And always hang on to that plastic foil. I know I say it all the time, but you know, it's like a mother telling her kids to put a coat on when it's cold outside. I just have to do it over and over and over. So, all right, and the Cricut is ready for us to load it. I'm not sure if that loaded right or not. We'll see. While that's cutting, I'm going to turn my heat press on. All right. So I just need to pull that out. There's not going to be any weeding to be done at all. And I'm just going to check my heat guide. So now we're just to weed this. And you can see there was absolutely no weeding at all that needed to be done. Now the fun part. We're just getting this ready, and hopefully the heat press will be ready by the time I'm done with this. So I'm just rolling my lint roller across from it. Now we're going to place this in the center, and we can use this as a guide for the center. And right about there, I'm obviously going to have to turn this to make sure it's straight. We need to tape this down. It's very important that you use a heat resistant tape, because if you try to use like Scotch tape or painter's tape or any other kind of tape that isn't heat resistant, you're going to wind up with a sticky, gooey mess all over your heat press. And believe me, that is not something that you want. So that's done, and I want to take and put my heat pad up under, in between the front and back of the t-shirt, because if there is any blowback from the sublimation, it will definitely get on your shirt back there. So, and I'm going to add a piece of cardstock just over the heat pad here, over the shirt, so nothing will get on the heat pad. And then just place that one there. And as soon as my easy press heats up, we'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, so the heat press is ready to go. So I'm going to put it right here on top of the shirt, and I'm going to give it medium pressure for 40 seconds.
A few moments later.
You see what that did to the butcher paper? Burned it. And I'm just letting it cool just a little bit so it doesn't burn my fingers. I'm so impatient with these things. sometimes I want to get my heat resistant gloves and just pull them apart. A little bit of hair down in there. Alright, now the moment of truth. I always get so nervous. I guess because I can't see what's going on while it's heating down. With heat transfer vinyl, I can see, you know, that it's down and it looks good. Guys, this looks great. You could do this on a light colored shirt like a pink or a light blue. I wouldn't, you know, try for dark colors unless you're putting something, you know, white or something under it, like on like a piece of glitter vinyl or something like that. Well, I think that I did get it. It angles a little bit, but that's all right. I should have angled it a little more and it would look on purpose, but oh well, I'm happy with it. Well, that was fun. And now we have this cool t-shirt that we can wear around. It might just be the perfect advertisement that brings you sales. So feel free to wear it out. So thanks for watching today. And if you got anything from this video, let me know. You can leave a comment below and go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any notifications when I send videos out. So the best place for you to ask questions and get help is through my Facebook group, and it will be linked below in the description. So that's where you can show off your projects, and I love to see them, guys. And you can get opinions, you can ask for help, and just generally hang out with other like-minded crafters. We have a great time there. Well, that's all I have for today. So until next time, happy crafting.